Mia casa, tua casa, la nostra casa.
There we go. Hey, yes. I don't know anything that you said, but that's
all
beautiful.
right. I'm good to answer your question. I love the Palais Theatre. There's several reasons why I love that theatre. I love its location. I love the architecture of it. I love the capacity of it because it's not too big and it's certainly not what you consider a small theatre. There's something really beautiful in there. There's a grace and a non-complication in the Palais Theatre. So I do love it. And after doing 4 shows out in the elements in Australia, it's like you never ever know what the fuck you're gonna get. Like you don't know, it'll rain, it'll hail, it'll beat down on you at 40 degrees plus at any time. Anything goes. So when you get into those configurations, you've got to be ready. And they are difficult. Working in the elements are difficult, particularly today. It's totally unpredictable. Yeah, I look forward to going back to the theatre, but then again, I'm an old theatre mole, excuse the expression. One of the greatest gifts I have as a performer, that is probably one of the only reasons that's probably kept me going on this long, if truth be told. It's that exchange, that moment, that interaction that you have with a public who comes in there just wanting to enjoy themselves, whatever is going on in their lives, is the most precious gift that any human can possibly have. So that's my gift, that's my privilege as a performer, going into those environments one-on-one with the public. It's the greatest gift I get.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun with the title of the song, of course. I would never have survived this long if it wasn't for the laughter. Would never. And then I can very openly and very honestly state, hand on heart, that if I wasn't able to laugh, I couldn't do music. It wouldn't be possible for me because it's complicated. It's very complicated. So I do take the piss out of everything. I do, and I think I laugh at myself the most, actually. But there's always funny moments, travelling, getting into the theatre, the people that you surround yourself with, the situations that can evolve and arise from something.
Yeah.
The audience, the banter, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's some really beautiful moments and exchanges and lots of laughter. Jesus, if these fucking walls could talk. If those walls could talk, yeah, no, pretty wild. Yeah, it's amazing. I love the State Theatre. It's eclectic. It's very intimate. I mean, there's literally no room backstage, and there's just a beautiful energy that is filled with artistry and stories and emotions that literally bounce off the walls when you walk into those theatres. Yeah, they're great. If only those walls could speak. Before a show, it really depends where I am. I like to get outside and get fresh air because when you're in a confined space and closed space, I think also for singers too, it's important to have air. So wherever I am, I will head outside, breathe, take it in, and before I go and lock myself in a dungeon. Don't get any thoughts. There's no chains in my dungeon. Yeah, no, but that's what you do. When you're locked away for a while, it's important to get out. So wherever I am, and the good thing about the QPAC is that it's in town, it's right near the river, you can walk there. I like to stroll quietly before a show. I like quiet time. Do I have those pinch me moments? Of course I have those pinch me moments. First thing I think to myself is, what the fuck are you all doing here? It's when there's so many other things you could be doing. Adelaide's a really quirky little city. A lot of people go, oh, it's really boring, there's not enough going on there and there could be more going on there. Well, yes, there could be more going on there, absolutely, but you know, there isn't. But it's an arty town, and that's what I really love about it. It's artistic. There's a lovely energy there. But you know, there's lovely energies everywhere. We decided with the Don't Ask shows, the 30-year celebration, which was something that, you know, in the beginning I was like, yeah, do I? No, yes. But then people love that record. That was an important record for a lot of people. So if that's the case, it deserves to be heard in its entirety, which is what we do. We tried those 4 shows because it's never a given for me when you go out on the road. You never know. Nothing is sure 200%. It just is what you just put it out there and hope for the best. The reaction was pretty amazing. So it made complete sense to continue the journey and take that show around the country so everybody can hear those songs again. I've been lucky enough to see what the music does firsthand for people, and the beauty about music is that it's therapy. That's what it is ultimately. It heals people. You don't need to really look much further than that. People identify with emotions, those stories. They remember where they were when they first heard those songs and what those songs actually meant to them. So that's a really honourable thing. It's the same thing for me. I have songs that I love and that take me back to really great moments. And sometimes they take you back to tough moments. But that's the beauty of music. I don't know. I think it's one of the hardest aspects of touring, actually, is coming up with a set list of songs and going, what do I do? What do I include? What do I exclude? Especially when you've got a catalogue that's vast, which mine is. But we're there to celebrate a particular record. A beautiful walk down memory lane of a beautiful time. Funnily enough, performing those songs doesn't take me back to the 90s so much, because there were some great moments in the 90s, but there were also difficult moments too during that time. You know, music was very different back then, and we had to do a lot of physical hard work, which is what I did back then. I worked so hard. 5 years of work during that period was like a person maybe working 10 years, because the level was intense, a lot of travelling, not a lot of sleep, a lot of different environments, meeting a lot of people. So they were extremities that I couldn't live today, not at all, and I wouldn't live that today. So the music doesn't take me back so much to that. What I do is I relish in the moment of me being in that moment and watching how those songs affect people. That's beautiful. So I don't want to go back in the past. The past is the past. Parts of it were amazing, parts of it were incredibly disturbing. Now on reflection, I'm quite melancholic about it. I appreciate it for what it is. But I have learned to compartmentalize a lot of that and just focus on the present. I think this tour has given me a profound understanding of how unbelievably fortunate I am to have made some sort of an indentation in a really difficult business, the business of music. And I'm appreciative very, very much that that album gave me an opportunity to express myself in a very, in a really honest fashion. So I set the bench pretty high. So I tried, I kept it. I just did what I thought was the right thing to do. I just thought, here I am, I'm honest, I'm not perfect. It plays a big role in everything. I had no idea that album would do as well as what it did on vinyl. It's extraordinary, but it also very clearly indicates that today people are looking for some sort of tangibility. You know, I'm streaming, I listen to something and I can't touch it. It's not in my vinyl, it's something I can touch. It's gone, it's in the air, it's in the ether, see you later. Yet I pay for it. Well, if I pay for it, can I feel it? Can I own it? Can I touch it? Can I read it? That's all I want to do, you know. Call me old-fashioned. I don't fucking care what you call me. So that's it, I can't touch a stream, can I? I can't touch a digital wave. Does nothing for me. That whole AFL collaboration with Katy Perry came maybe a couple of weeks before she arrived in the country. And, you know, the phone call had come through one afternoon and they were like, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, I'm open to it. If Katie's open to it, sure. I'm open to having a really nice time. And I was like, well, what's she doing? And they were like, oh, she's going to do this, going to do that, and do an 18-minute medley singing live. I thought, cool. So how do I fit into that? I thought, what do I do, da-da-da. And then my manager, Michael Parisi, turned around and said, well, you know, get it. Would she be interested in singing Chains? And I looked at him and went, she ain't going to go for that. But she did. She goes, yeah, I love the song. So credit to Katy, who's a global star and has had a string of fantastic pop songs, whatever you want to think of them. She's a pop master. She's very, very good at it. And I have a lot of respect for that. Works really hard, unbelievably committed on every level. How can you not respect that? Whether it's your taste or not. So she went for it. I was into it. I was up for anything. I'm like, sure, let's have a good time. And that's exactly what happened. We actually had a really good time. It wasn't overthought. We laughed. We're both Scorpios. One's madder than the other. I think she's probably madder than I am. That's saying something. And I think the audience really enjoyed it. And that's the most important thing. Everybody was there for the game. We know that. But the entertainment at those games is really vital because that's what sets the tempo and the energy for everybody. And she did a good job, so did I, coming out from under the floor, you know, with what felt like about 40 degrees heat out there because it was very hot. So many years of shit that I don't like that I wore, you couldn't even imagine. We don't even have enough roll time here. So, too much. Look, I'm not the greatest and most confident person when it comes to fashion. I'm good at my craft. That's what's important to me, not what slip I'm wearing. I'm lucky enough to wear beautiful clothes because I feel that clothes, it's an important part of what you do. The show is everything. It's got to look good. And I enjoy that moment getting dressed up on stage. Love it, it's beautiful. taking on a character, visually, sonically, whatever, spiritually. I love that. I love that. And dressing up and collaborating with designers is incredible. I've been lucky enough to collaborate with Alame for the Don't Ask tour, who have been kind enough to design a wardrobe for me that was extraordinary, that was designed for me specifically for Don't Ask. And Alame have just been extraordinary. I love their work, I love Leslie's work. I think the team are amazing. What they do is very different to what a lot of people do. And it makes a statement, and it's art. So if I can be that sort of
canvas,
if I can be that canvas for that work of art, that's wonderful. How wonderful. Well, I guess so, if you want me in the chair.
Yeah, sounds good. Can't wait to have you back. You're the best, my friend.
I'll be back. Yeah.